those of you who turned the light away during class, you look like the ghost from Krishna past because the shadows don't look good on you. So for those of you giving class, it's actually better, you're on the internet. So it's better to not look like a ghost. I remember when I was young, we would take a flashlight, put it under our chin. Anyone do that? And try to haunt people. Anyway, just a little hint. I mean, that's why I put the light there. There's a logic to it. Jaya Radha Madhova Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhova Kunja Bihare Gopi Janabalabha Girivadudhate Gopi Janabalabha Girivadudhate Yasunanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yasunanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tera Vanachare Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunja Bihare Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunja Bihare Gopi Radha Girivadudhate Gopi Radha Girivadudhate Yasunanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasunanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachate Yamuna Tera Vanachare Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunja Bihare Jaya Radhu Madhuva Kunya Vihaude Ramadhuva Bihari Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Paravatikacharya also Teta Satashi Shivad His Divine Grace Sabaya Chanana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Srivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radhakrishna Gopadan Shai Makunda Radhakunda Giri Gopadan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturadam Ki Jai Jagadasami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimangalasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Prevalanda Hari Hari Gaur. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samani Chinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shinyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. So today we are reading from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 65th chapter, texts 11 to 12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're just going to do the first text responsively, and I'll read the next text after that. Mataram Pitarang Ratrin Patin Putran Swashrin Ape Yad Arte Jahima Dasarha Dushjajan Swa Janan Prabho Mataram Bitarhang Bratrin Patin Putran Swashrenapi Yadarte Jahimha Dasharha Jahima Dasharha Dushyajan Swajanan Prabho Mataram Bitarhang Ratrin Patin Putran Swashrenapi Yadarte Jakimha Dasharha Dushyajan Swajanan Prabho Mataram Bitarhang Ratrin Patin Putram Swashrenapi Yadarte Jakimat Darshahar Dushyajan Swajanan Prabho. Okay. Jahima. All right. All right. Tana Sadya Pavrichaja Tata Sanchina Sorida Katamnu Tadrasham Strivir Nashvadiyeta Ashitam. So you can repeat. Mataram, mother. Pitaram, father. Vratrin, brothers. Patin, husbands. Putran, children. Swashrin, sisters. Ape, also. Yat, of whom. Arte, for the sake. Jahima, we abandoned. Dasharha, O descendant of Dasharha. Dushajan, difficult to give up. Swajanan, own people. Prabho, O Lord. Ta, these women. Na, ourselves. Satya, suddenly. Purichasya, rejecting. Gata, gone away. Sangchanda, having broken off. Sauritak, friendship. Katam, how? No, indeed. Tadrasham, such. Stribi, by women. Nashradiheta, would not be trusted. Vashatam, words spoken. Translation, for Krishna's sake, O descendant of Darshaha, we abandon our mothers, fathers, brothers, husbands, children, and sisters, even though these family relations are difficult to give up. But now, O Lord, that same Krishna has suddenly abandoned us and gone away, breaking off all affectionate ties with us. And yet, how could any woman fail to trust his promises? So you can repeat. For Krishna's sake, O descendant of the Shaha, we abandon our mothers, fathers, brothers, husbands, children, and sisters, even though these family relations are difficult to give up. But now, O Lord, that same Krishna has suddenly abandoned us and gone away, breaking off all affectionate ties with us. And yet, how could any woman fail to trust his promises? So there's no purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary, and also the commentary of Jiva Goswami, give us some very interesting insights into what is happening here. And in many cases, we have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur presenting conversations, which is really interesting. Particularly, I remember the conversation about the Radha Kund pastime, where he presents this whole dialogue between Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the Gopis. So we'll read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on these verses. And this is a dialogue. But most beloved Gopis, Krishna, full of love for you, always remembers you. No, we do not have faith in his love, since he rejected us, who were solely devoted to him. This they express in a verse and a half. Though we gave everything up for him, he gave us up immediately and left. Why did you let him go then? Why did you not go with him? So Uddhava was asking this question. Balaram was asking the question. But he tore up our bonds of love, Sodana, like a blade of grass and left. Tell us what we should have done. Because you are maintaining your life without him, you also must have broken your ties of love with him. Though we had cut the rope of love, because he said that he would return repeatedly through a messenger, that's Uddhava, of course, again the knots of love were tied. Because of that, he made the life heirs which were leaving the body return. In other words, that's hope. But if you believed he will return, then why are you so disturbed? Again, the Gopis. Since he did not come even today, we now consider that whatever he said was false. Again, Balaram. Well, why did you believe what he said at all? And then the Gopis. How can unintelligent, straightforward women like us not believe such words from him? Such an interesting dialogue. And so we have Jiva Goswami speaks. He will always remember his wives. That's, of course, the Gopis saying that. By leaving us, who had no other shelter, all traces of friendship disappeared in him. Our mothers, etc., and friends, Swajanan, were difficult to give up. The order of affection is from strongest in the mother to weakest in friends. Affection for brothers is less than affection for fathers. The Gopis gave no regard to these people. What to speak of having regard for anything else? From what they previously said, it is understood that they had rejected these people. And that's Krishna consciousness. Rejecting what's called in Bhagavatam the fallible soldiers. Isn't it? Anyway. Pati sutan vaya vratrir vandavan ati vilangya te tenya yachuta gata gati vidas kabodgita mohita kitava yoshita, kitava of course means cheater, yoshita kastichen nishi. Who but a cheater like you would abandon young women who come to see you in the middle of the night, enchanted by the loud song of your flute? Though you know the nature of your flute, and though we have completely rejected our husbands, children, mothers, fathers, and brothers to come to you, O Achyuta, that's Bhagavatam 10, 31 and 16. Now, gathering in a group, when he had given them up, they went to live in the forest. That is the meaning of the word Jagima, we renounce. Since they were not living in their houses, now they had no brothers. As for husbands and sons, this must be taken in a secondary sense according to what is perceived by the public. Since he is Krishna's elder brother, they addressed Balaram by saying, O master of everyone. They did not recognize him as the Lord. They gave up shame of informing someone else of Krishna's bad conduct and approached him. O Dashara, though you were born in the Yadu dynasty as a Kshatriya, you have come out of friendship, but the son of the coward king did not come. He gave up completely those who gave up countless friends or those who were devoted solely to him. Gata and went away. But he went to kill evil Kamsa. After finishing up some necessary duties at this time, soon he will come back. That is not likely. He completely cut the ties of affection he had for us. Sanchana Saurida. Otherwise, how could he give us up? He spoke gently and vowed to us, I cannot repay you. How could such words not be believed by women who are soft and innocent? Or how could you have friendship for him which gives you such pain? They answer by saying, how could innocent women not believe his sweet words? Heavy verse. So, Om Ganat Timidandasha Gananjana Shlakya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, actually, after reading this, I was thinking, this is Krishna's standard operating procedure. That's called SOP. The standard, not only with the gopis, it's his standard operating procedure to put his devotees into a situation of intense hankering, feeling bereft, feeling anxiety. That's his method of both purification, of course the gopis are already purified, but of bringing his devotees to a more intense level of devotional service. And I was thinking about this not in regard to some stories I was listening to yesterday. I was driving back from Charlotte, and fortunately, I was had Bhagavatam class, the whole first canto. Yesterday I listened to the whole first canto and half of the second canto. Not that I read it while I was driving. It's a self-driving car, but I'm not that crazy. So, but Amala Bhakta has all these, Swami now, has all these nice narrations. I was listening, and then I was hearing about some of these stories of intense separation. And the stories were not about the gopis, of course, first and second canto, not much information about the gopis. But, first of all, I was listening to Narada Muni describing his particular situation, how we came to Krishna consciousness. This is the whole discussion between Srila Vyasadeva and Narada Muni. And Srila Vyasadeva, who is the disciple, asked his guru, Narada Muni, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? And so, Narada Muni describes the whole situation where he's in a village and the sages are taking shelter for the 4 months of the rainy season. And he gets the opportunity to, first of all, take initiation, take the remnants. We all know that. But then Krishna makes him bereft of whatever shelter he had in this material world. And that shelter was his mother. Krishna's first step. Either we do it voluntarily or Krishna does it involuntarily for us. So, anyway, so what happens is Narada Muni's mother, some of you, of course, most of you know the story, Narada Muni's mother, who was a maidservant, gets bitten by a snake. And Narada Muni, he sees this in a very interesting way. He sees this as the time factor. It's interesting. So many times when people die, we don't understand how this happened or whatever. But, he actually perceives it as the time factor affected my mother, and she passed away. And then, so what he does is he heads for the hills, and he chants his mantra that was taught by the great sages, and he's visualizing Krishna in his heart. And then all of a sudden he sees Krishna, isn't it? Krishna appears to him, and basically Krishna says to him, I regret that you're not going to see me again. in this lifetime, because those who are not pure, they just can't have that particular type of darshan. So he puts, and at the same time, Narada Muni is just like, let me try to see him again, isn't it? In the Bhagavatam, it describes, he tries in his meditation, whatever, he tries to see. I want to see him again, I want to see him again. I'm being a little dramatic about the whole thing. And, then Krishna says, you're not going to see me again. So for the rest of that particular lifetime, he's actually, just wandering around looking for Krishna his whole life, feeling that separation from that glimpse that he had, isn't it? So that's why I said, it's pretty much Krishna's standard operating procedure for all of us, basically. And then also we read in the first, second canto, there's the story of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit, of course, was in the womb of his mother, Uttara. And being in the womb of his mother, Uttara, there was this nice gentleman, Ashvatam, who tried to kill him using the Brahmastra weapon. And he fires the Brahmastra weapon, and then Krishna protects Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj was not Parikshit Maharaj at that time, was obviously not a king or a sannyasi inside the womb. Parikshit, he protects him, and Parikshit has a glimpse of Krishna in the womb. Can you imagine that? That's really an interesting experience. He has a glimpse of Krishna in the womb, and the rest of his life, that's why he's called Parikshit. He's the examiner. Where is that Krishna? I want to see him again. Of course, devotees, they see, like Parikshit, he sees Krishna in everything and everywhere. Obviously, a pure devotee, like described in the Chatu Shloki, that if one doesn't see everything connected to Krishna, then one's in Maya. Vatevatam na pratyeta, na pratyeta chatmini padvidyad atmano mayam yata basha yata tamaha. Anything seen without what? Relationship to me, know it to be what? My illusory energy, which is like a reflection that appears in darkness. So a devotee sees like that, but he also hankers to see Krishna. We have to inculcate this particular mentality in our own devotional lives. Yes, we see everything connected to Krishna, but also we definitely like to see Krishna. Like to see Krishna. Of course, Prabhupada also said, this is interesting. Interesting thing. I had an email from a disciple yesterday. Interesting disciple. And this disciple said that they attended some seminar by an ISKCON devotee, and they were told to see Krishna, just close your eyes, like hypnotic seminar. Sometimes people do these hypnotic seminars. I don't do them. And he said, you are seeing Krishna, you're seeing Krishna. Of course, unfortunately, this particular disciple had a psychotic breakdown after that. They thought they saw Krishna, but then they went to a psychosis. Anyway, so they said, when am I going to see Krishna like that again? And, I didn't want to have them go into a psychosis again. I told them, I'm using the other tense so you don't understand whether it's a man or a woman. It was actually a man. So anyway, I told them that Prabhupada said we should try to have Krishna see us, not see Krishna. But still, we want to see the Supreme Personality of God. It's described. When you see the Lord, Prabhupada described Krishna in this particular story in the Bhagavatam, where Lord Brahma saw the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna actually shook his hand. So we know shaking hands is Vedic. It's not just like Krishna didn't go, namaste. He shook his hand. So, anyway, so there's that story where Parikshit Maharaj is just like, its whole life, where is that Krishna? Where is that? person. I saw her in the womb. And then also with in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, I mean, there's a lot of similarities. We have Lord Chaitanya leaving his wife, Vishnu Priya. His first wife, Lakshmi Priya, she passed away due to intense separation. Second wife had to stay in this world, for a long lifetime, feeling separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, worshiping his deity. And she was feeling so much intense separation. It's described she would only, eat one grain of rice for each mantra. I wouldn't say each round. I mean, she would starve to death otherwise. But each mantra she chanted. So in this way, she was feeling like that. And then we have the Goswamis of Vrindavan. I mean, you have Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and they saw Prabhupada, not Prabhupada, sorry. And they saw Lord Chaitanya very briefly, right? And the rest of their lives, they were serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, imagine, if I had seen God, let's say if I was there at Lord Chaitanya's presence, and Lord Chaitanya said, okay, you go to Vrindavan. I'd probably say, no way. I want to be with you as much as possible. And of course, then Lord Chaitanya would probably say, like Prabhupada said to us, that you have to serve the Supreme Personality of God, and your business is not to enjoy him, which is actually very interesting. And then, another Goswami, of course, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the very end of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And then Raghunath Das Goswami felt so much separation from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was planning to commit suicide, jumping off of Govardhan Hill. Whew. And the Goswamis of Vrindavan had to convince Raghunath Das Goswami, don't do that. So much intense. So you see, for the majority of their lives, even though they spent so many years with Lord Chaitanya, the other six Goswamis didn't spend so much time as Raghunath Das Goswami did. But anyway, for the rest of their lives, they were just feeling this intense, where have you gone? Mood of separation. And, I mean, I have so many stories that I noted down here. You have Hanuman, who's one of my favorite personalities, Ram Bhakta. So, revealing my Siddhadeya. So anyway, not really. So, Hanuman have to stay in this earth planet worshiping Lord Ram in Kimparusha Loka, the deity of Lord Ram, chanting after Lord Ram left the planet, feeling intense separation from him. And then you also have the story of Lord Nityananda's father, Hadai Pandit. Imagine you have Lord Nityananda as your son. He's a little kid. And then some sannyasi comes. I mean, how many of you parents, of course, not many parents. Well, we have older parents here. Children have already grown up. But let's say if you have a little kid, and a sannyasi comes, and he says, I would like your son as my personal servant. How many of you would give your son away? Not, you would? Yeah, he's only 12 years old. I mean, this one is a little bit bigger, a lot bigger. Yeah, so the sannyasi comes and says, give me your son, I need a servant. And then Hadai Pandit, he could never be separated from Lord Nityananda, isn't it? I mean, he couldn't bear separation. All of a sudden, Lord Nityananda goes away with the sannyasi, and he never sees in that lifetime, Lord Nityananda again. Pretty intense, isn't it? And so, so many stories. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Lokanath Goswami is sent away by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And, who was that? Yeah, and Chandrasekhara and Tapan Mishra are sent to live in Benares, isn't it? By Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then they get to see him for a few days like that. So Krishna, the point is that Krishna does this basically to all of his devotees, as far as I know. And he puts them in this situation. And I was also thinking in regard, let's say, to Krishna's devotees. Like when we have association with a great devotee like His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Those of us who had that association with Srila Prabhupada, but Prabhupada was only present while we had that association for a few years. And then the rest of our lives, we don't, it was so intense when Prabhupada was there. Let me explain what it was like. Everything was centered on Prabhupada. It was just like when Krishna was in Vrindavan. It was exactly, well, not exactly, but there's parallels there. When Krishna in Vrindavan, everything was centered. Where is Krishna? What is he doing now? We're waiting to see him. Maybe we'll leave everything and go to see Krishna. So that it was like that with Prabhupada when he was on the planet. Every day, if a devotee got a letter somewhere else in the world, we'd, by phone, there was no email at that particular time, isn't it? And we'd hear, Prabhupada said this, and immediately everybody snapped to attention. Prabhupada said, you can only eat once a day. And go on Sankirtan the rest of the day. Leave one person back in the temple. You remember that? That was Chicago. One person back in the temple said, once a day, all you can eat. Choo. Everybody snapped to it, and we ate once a day, even though we felt like hell. Because we were eating too much one particular time, once a day. All you can eat. Either in the morning or even the rest of the day, hit the road, go on Sankirtan, one person back. So one person was doing all the deity worship in the temple, cooking all and everything, so everyone else would go on Sankirtan. And so, anyway, it was like that, and then you just fly to where Prabhupada was. I remember when I was in Los Angeles with Rita Nana Maharaj. I was a brahmachari, and we heard Prabhupada was in New York. So I thought, we didn't have any money. How can we fly to New York to see Prabhupada? So I contacted my father. I said to my father, I really want to see you. Can I bring my friend with me? He said, yeah, I'll send you the tickets. Send me the ticket. We fly. Saw saw my father for about 10 minutes. It was horrible. I just felt cruel. And then we saw Prabhupada, and we just, I remember just like even when Prabhupada was taking massage, I climbed up to the highest window in the building just to watch Prabhupada taking a massage. It was like Krishna in Vrindavan, basically. Prabhupada looked up, and I could see in his eyes, who's this stupid idiot watching me take a massage from the third-story window here? So, and then I dropped off the windowsill. So a particular point. So, anyway, and then Prabhupada flew to Los Angeles. We flew back to Los Angeles. I mean, it was just like everything. Prabhupada was everything. And then all of a sudden, Prabhupada leaves us. And then for the rest of, for us, I mean, I'm not saying Prabhupada was Krishna, but Prabhupada was like that for us. And for then the rest of our lives, how many years is that now? That was 1977. 48 years, almost 50 years. 2 more years, it could be 50 years. So for the rest of our lives, we're just like, for me, it's like looking, where is Prabhupada? Where is Prabhupada? Prabhupada's service, what would Prabhupada say? And so this particular mood that one should have in relationship to Krishna, in relationship to the spiritual master, keeps one on the straight and narrow path of devotional service, keeps one focused on meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates. Because the Krishna consciousness is personal. It's based on, we want to serve, we want to be connected with someone, we want to be connected with Krishna, of course, and with Krishna's pure devotees. And that's a very personal way, that's the best way of conquering the senses. Because if you're trying to conquer the senses just because you want to get liberated, that doesn't stay for very long. It doesn't work. Or you conquer the senses because you want to be a Brahmin like Vishwamitra Muni. It doesn't work. The Menaka comes along. Hello. Oh, I forgot about my wanting to become a Brahmin now. But if you're actually connected personally with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees in such a way, in this mood of Vipralamba, then at that point, you remain fixed in devotional service. That's the key to being steady in devotional service. So any questions? We have a half minute left to class. I know Mother Irma will have a question. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's integral. But Sthai Bhava means one's basic relationship, just to translate for. Yeah. Yeah, there's meeting and separation. Separation is also, yes, it's always an integral part of a devotee's life. And not only relationship to Krishna, as I mentioned before, but in relationship to Krishna's devotees. I mean, we hear Narottama Das Thakur Saparshada Goda Viraha Vilapa. And it's, very intense, isn't it? Ye Anilo Premadana Kodana Prachur. So, anyway, it's time to greet the deities. All
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayataksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Amaham Bhajami. Namakam Vishnu Pataya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Samini Namade. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vaja Devasesha Shunyate Vachachare Satarane Gauravani Vaja Vachachades Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanachananda Sri Advaita Gadada Sivasari Gauratu Brenda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanachananda Sri Advaita Gadada Sivasari Gauratu Brenda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanachananda Sri Advaita Gadada Sivasari Gauratu Brenda Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare, Rama Hare, Rama Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Chaitodarpanam Arjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratinam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichaya Tororapi Suhishana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budao Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishavapadamritam Banastumam Adarshanam Marmahatakarotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lampato Mat Prananatas Tusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. They're not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servant. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death. Place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice